Hi there, everybody. I'm Tyler, and we're playing with the Gauntlet community today. I've played with the Gauntlet community before. If any of you have watched my videos, the 3 or 4 of you who happen to have done so know that the Gauntlet is the greatest community you can find. Some of the most wonderful gamers in the world, and without a doubt, some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. I've said you should go and take a look. We have a Patreon. We have a Facebook. We have a G+ community, and you can find us at Gauntlet-RPG.com. Come in. You'll really be glad that you found us. But we're going to be playing today a game called Dawg the RPG. And this is by a shock to say, there we go, hopefully I said that right, who has made this based upon a kind of a casual comment made in Knights of the Dinner Table. That's where this game comes from. If you're fans, like I am, of Knights of the Dinner Table, they had a couple of mentions of playing Dawg. And Dawg is not your winds in the willows, dogs in waistcoats. These aren't talking animals going about their day in the boats. These are dogs. They are 4-legged, natural, literal dogs. And we are going to be playing in an era, the Victorian era in Egypt, where we have these dogs as part of an expedition that is going to find, well, they're looking for one of the lost tombs of Egypt. They're being led by the somewhat ridiculous and certainly historically unsuccessful Sir Brian Alfred Felton. He has thus far squandered nearly all of his family's inheritance out looking for these lost wonders, and this is his last shot before the family is completely bankrupt. To say he is not knowledgeable about the local culture is kind of an understatement. To say he's not really an archaeologist is beyond the idea of how poorly he is equipped to handle this. However, he is certain that he has greatness in store for him. We're going to be playing the canines who happen to be on the edges and involved in this expedition, when poor Sir Brian manages to cause more trouble than he ever intended. I want to say that we have the Gauntlet inclusivity policy as part of our game, which is basically saying that we're all friends here. We're all here to support each other. We have an open table. We are trying to create an environment where everybody feels like they can, speak freely and talk, build up their character and know that everyone's here helping them out. We're all friends at a table. Also, I'm going to use the X card. I like it. It's a fairly simple procedure, but it is effective and is for our safety. If at any time anyone has reached a point where something's become problematical, or if something has become too violent or really disturbing you, or even if it's something that's going, this is just spoiling my fun. This isn't fun. Anyone can please put up something like this. They can put something in the chat. They could say to me, hey, Tyler, I think I need to X this. I may ask for clarification, but we'll go back and we'll reframe and we'll move right on. It's here for us if we encounter something that can be difficult. I do have a couple of things that we'll set as baselines, but everyone should feel free to use this at any time. I want you to feel that this is something we can handle and move right through. I have previously said that this comes with no questions asked, and of course it does. But I've read an article that really touched me, saying that if something hits you that you really feel like you need to explain, or you feel like I'd like to express, we have our event page, we have our chat here, or you can say something amongst us. Again, we're all friends. So if something hits you and you'd like to unload, we're all here, and that's fine. But we have those tools in place, and we're going to now begin finding out about our dogs here in this, let's pull it up, the one module for Dogs the RPG I could find, The Terrifying Tomb of Ankheim by John Kennedy. And so, I'm going to ask some people to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about their dogs. Rich.
Yes, Tyler. I am playing Finuku, or Finuku. Finuku is a Egyptian dog. I did a little bit of like Google search to try to find some Egyptian breeds and found the Basenji. It's a small to medium-sized dog, weighs about 20 to 25 pounds. I don't know how many kilos that is. I imagine more than 10. The Basenji, what I think is interesting about them is they're known as the barkless dog. They make low howl, moaning / yodeling sounds instead of barking. And they're also called the Congo dog. I'll real quickly just see if I can share a picture of how I see Finuku appearing. So give me just a sec there. That is what he looks like. It's a pretty dog, isn't he? With a little curly tail, except he probably doesn't look quite that nice. I have chosen that he is not a pure breed and also a stray, which means that he doesn't have a master. He doesn't need no master. And while the crossbreed cur means I choose two breeds, I decided to stay within the racing dog just because I thought it would be fun if I had a Basenji that was a quick little bastard. So he's about a 24, 25 pound medium-sized dog that is really, really fast. And that's how he gets away with what he needs to do and get food and all that good stuff.
Awesome. That is fantastic. Just to ask real quick, what trick did you, or tricks did you pick up?
The trick that I got is and away. The activation is roll 80 or more on a successful hustle check. He's got a chance because his hustle is 70, so I think he'll pull that off. You can escape easily from any fight and leave your pursuers in the dust. If you succeed your hustle roll and roll a result of 80 or more, you've gotten clean away. Any damage you take while escaping stays with you, just as it would for any other fleeing dog.
Excellent. Super cool. All right, then. Well, Patrick, would you like to introduce your dog?
Sure. My dog's name is Luke, and it's spelled all weird and Irish, just because that was how my other dog was. So his ancestry is that way too. He's an Irish Wolfhound. He's enormous. Well, he's mostly Irish Wolfhound. He's also, anything else that's on the bigger scale of dog, and maybe some elk as well. Who can tell? He's a mix of guard and hunting, and he is a pet. I'm not sure whose pet. Maybe someone on the expedition.
We'll figure that out.
He's particularly large and decent at alertness. And good at human handling. He has puppy dog eyes. He's cute. He's got the blood-curdling bark from the guard dog and the mighty sniffer from the hunting dog. And then for his regular trick, I picked up roughhousing, which is he's good at fighting with other dogs without, necessarily like ripping open bellies and things. And then the puppy dog eyes is an extra one I bought to look adorable to humans. As far as disadvantages, he has the typical dog. He likes to roll around in mud and trash and smelly things, and he definitely likes to eat whatever's in the garbage, and no fancy English lords could tell him any different. And he's very happy and has an enormous tail and has a tendency to knock things over, which I thought might go badly in a relic-ridden pyramid.
Fantastic. Oh, that's awesome. All right, cool. Richard, you feel like you can introduce a dog?
I can. I want to introduce you to Idon. who is a progenitor, one of the progenitors of the as yet being invented healer breed from Australia. And he is pedigreed, even though his pedigree is not quite, kennel society yet. Will be soon. And he is a pet. He is a working dog, originally bred for cattle herding, but then brought to England, because all good things from Australia have to get brought to England. And has been a very energetic lapdog, but has recently started accompanying his master, who will discern soon, on trips into Egypt and other foreign colonial expeditions.
Excellent. And what tricks do you have?
I have 2 so far. I have the Doolittle effect, which all working dogs have, which means I am good at communicating, or specifically can communicate both with other dogs, which all dogs can do, but I'm really good at communicating with other dogs. And specifically, I can communicate with other animals. Originally bred to be a herding dog, so I just understand how to communicate with other animals. I also am an ankle biter. So if I deal damage in combat, I have some other options about nipping people's heels.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, I'm so glad we got someone with the Doolittle effect. I love that power myself. That was one I had. All right. And John, feel like we're there? Do you need a few more moments?
I still putting in the stats, but I think I got him pretty well. My dog is named Tsar. He is a Russian Ozjarka, which is also known as the bear hunting dog. He's a guard dog. Very large. And so he has the blood-curdling bark from being a hunting dog. And for the most part, he's a big, friendly dog, and overly friendly, because he can be really scary to other dogs too, by default, because of his size. So, and he has the happy tail, and I don't have any other stuff yet.
All right, that's cool. And you can build, we can all be building up as we go along. I want to start off by saying a little bit on our kind of some things I'd like to avoid is outright animal cruelty. Now, we're all dogs, and, we're going to encounter some difficulties along the way. We'll have dogs who may not agree with each other encountering each other. I have a myriad of awful things that you have the potential to encounter of other animals. But I will not be doing any we won't see humans doing anything cruel to dogs. And we should all, again, be ready with those safety tools if something gets a bit much. But it is my intention to keep us, while action-packed and with some tension, I would rather avoid anything that reaches outright cruelty. So, with that in mind, and with our dogs prepared, let me go over a bit of what we're doing. You see, Sir Brian, as I have mentioned before, was not a very good explorer. In fact, he has wandered the desert many times and thus far only found a really horrible sunburn. He has spent fortunes upon fortunes digging up the sand, and nothing to show for it yet. However, with the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, he has found renewed inspiration and is once more mounted an expedition into Egypt. Having fewer and fewer people who are willing to go with him, he has now had to advertise in the London Times for anyone who was willing to accompany him on these trips. And so the crew he has put together are less than ethical, and in some cases, not particularly fond of Sir Brian. Of note, we have Dr. Higgins, who is the physician for our expedition, who has brought along his rather unpleasant cat, Bentley, a Siamese, which you will see if you look into our character keeper. Dr. Higgins, as far as all of you that are here in the camp, and we'll discern who's here soon, Dr. Higgins does not seem to be the most pleasant of sorts. In fact, he has often been known to put a dog out of the tent and has never shared a single bite from his meal like a good human should. Also, Bentley, which howls horribly through the night, has, at the very least to you, Finuku, been very rude, and is constantly talking about the smell of dogs in this camp. I can't believe I have to deal with you at all. But as they have traveled deeper and deeper into the desert, they have reached the area where expeditions had discovered Tutankhamun's ruins. Now, Carnarvon has already come in and pretty much emptied out Tut's tomb. But there are many adventurers who still believe that there's something to be found in this area. And Sir Brian is one. He has assembled a team of native Egyptians who seem more than willing to take his money to go around and dig at random when he points at things. No one, including most of the expedition, are sure exactly what makes Sir Brian find a place appealing to dig in. He often will speak of, he is often seen holding up different charts by our dogs. But it seems to all of you dogs that he just likes to dig holes in the sand. And so, we are now out in the desert. There is a goodly number of humans. Of the natives, about 24. Of the expedition, there is Dr. Higgins and Sir Brian. And we'll also see if maybe there's a few others, kind of dependent on what our dogs think who they might have here with them. They're in a camp and have been, once again, digging holes and digging holes. So, I would like to start with you there, Patrick, and with Luke. Who do you think you're a pet? Who is your master here? Is it? I don't know if Higgins has a dog. He doesn't seem the sort who would.
No, and I don't seem like the sort that would live with a horrible little cat like that.
Mm-hmm. But are you the dog? Is Sir Brian your human? Now, I should mention, and we'll see in the character keeper, that there is also Gunther, a German shepherd that those of you in the camp will all know, who is definitely Sir Brian's dog, and is a very good dog.
Where in the character keeper?
If you look in the character keeper, on the tab characters down at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
We're not seeing that.
Are you in a different version of this character keeper, maybe?
I think
see anything in there.
I very well may be. Give me 2 seconds then, and I'll pull that up. But Patrick, go ahead and maybe think. Who do you think is your master here in this community?
I don't know. It's a Irish Wolfhound type mixed breed, probably British in some way. Is there anybody in that side of the party that's like vaguely competent and maybe used as archaeological gopher by a lot of the others?
Yeah, I could certainly see that. Are we thinking like maybe a student who's come on the expedition?
Yeah. Someone to, who's actually been studying and trying to do this whole business right, and maybe the sort of person that would like start to uncover something interesting looking, and several of the nobles or Sir Brian or whatever would just sort of off their way into, oh yes, look what I've just discovered, as they uncover the last bit of it.
Okay. What's his name? What do you call him?
Not sure.
Okay. But is he young?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well then, why don't you can come up with what you think you call him, but
Give me particularly good English student names.
Spencer, Benedict.
Mm-hmm. I like Benny, yeah.
Okay. And I did, in fact, completely fill out a whole different thing than you guys have. So I will, I'll put that up for you guys here in just a second. All right. So Benny has been, how long have you been with Benny?
I mean, forever.
Since a pup.
Well, yeah. Where else would I be?
Do you like being out here in the desert?
It's different. It makes it harder to run, and that's weird. And, like, nobody ever carries enough water because they don't really seem to understand how important water is and rolling around in wet stuff is. But it's not the worst place we've been.
And Gunter, Sir Brian's dog, is a very upstanding, a good solid English dog who follows his master as well he should. How do you get along with him? He tends to be a bit bossy.
I don't know. I imagine Gunter probably gets very offended by Luke's sort of laziness and lackadaisical attitude, and they get into fights sometimes, which probably mostly end in Luke just sort of sitting calmly on Gunter until he stops squirming.
All right, then. And have you dealt with Bentley at all, or do you just avoid that terrible cat?
I was raised by a very intelligent master, and am much too wise to go near evil little creatures like that.
Makes perfect sense. All right, then. Well, Richard, you say, I believe you're a pet, correct?
I am indeed a pet.
Who do you think, who are you pet to?
Offended for a second. Is Benny or so? I was also thinking somebody sort of student-like, but someone less diligent. Somebody who's along for the either out of family pressure, or something like that. Because I think Idon is a hand-me-down dog who has been to Africa before, but his former master, the uncle of his current master, was an experienced adventurer, but ironically died of chicken bone and throat disease while at his gentleman's club. And so Idon has been passed down to someone else that his parents decided should also be a colonial adventurer. And packed off to Egypt to reclaim the family fortune.
Excellent. Okay. Any thoughts on what you call him?
Edwin.
Edwin. All right.
He may want to go by Eddie, but only people who like him call him that. And I don't think Idon likes him.
All right, perfect. You've been here in camp then with Luke. How do you two get along?
I think I like Benny, Luke's master, better than I like Edwin. And so I probably like Luke. Though I'm predisposed to dry conditions. I sort of like the sunny, wide open spaces a little better than Luke might. And I've been to Africa before, so. But I also think it's good to have big friends.
Always wise.
And
all right. How about Gunter?
Gunter is so-so. But his master is unworthy of Gunter's affections.
I can see that. That makes perfect sense. And how about Bentley?
I can understand Bentley, but I pretend I can't. No matter how much Bentley tries, all I say is I can't understand I don't understand kitten. I will occasionally go meow.
That's fantastic. Oh, I love it. All right. John, are you a pet as well? I believe you are.
Yes.
So who here do you think might be your master?
I was looking at Dr. Percy Higgins.
So Dr. Higgins, you think that he does have a dog?
Yes.
All right. Now we know that he's sort of he has Bentley as his cat, and as we've said, he seems a bit mean in that he's not big on sharing. He doesn't feed most of the other dogs. But is he different for you? His own dog?
Not especially. I was a gift from his sister who thought he needed some more friendly companionship. So he's mostly annoyed. He will occasionally throw scraps as a "go over there" type thing.
I gotcha. And now that you've been out here in the desert, do you like the desert? Do you like the heat?
No, it is very hot.
How are you getting along with Luke and with I'm so bad at names. Finuku.
I think pretty well, but Czar thinks he gets along pretty well with all dogs.
All right. Well, Luke, what do you think of Czar?
Sorry, I was working on updating.
Trying to transcribe my thing.
Yeah.
My horrible mistakes.
So I don't know. I missed
That's fine.
a lot of Czar. Sorry.
That's fine. Richard, what do you think Finuku thinks of Czar?
I don't mind that he thinks that I like him. He's not very attentive to his food. So I guess
which brings us up to you there, Rich. You're a stray. What have you been dealing with these this expedition out here? Have you been living on the outskirts of it?
Yes. Their trash is rather good trash. They seem to have a lot of rich food. They don't eat all of their food, which is an excellent deal.
Have you spoken with them?
Oh, well, the other dogs, yes, but not the 2 legs. I mean, really, why bother?
Okay. And, kind of keeping your distance from them, or have you actually tried to make a little friends with some of these dogs?
Well, I do like. I think that Luch is interesting because I think I could ride him if need be. That amuses me. I've seen the 2 legs do that to horses. No, I haven't tried yet, but it's always a temptation in the back of my mind that if it were needed, he could carry me, and that would be fun. The others, I'm polite to, mostly so they don't come after me if they catch me picking through the refuse.
Are you a lone dog, or is there a pack around you?
I think that I have been with packs before, but none of them wanted to come all the way out here to this place. So they just kind of kept going back as we traveled out to this particular dig. Right? We're at an archaeology dig, right?
Yeah. We're out in the desert at the dig.
Yeah, so it's a long trek, and they kept saying, no, these guys are all going to die, and we're leaving. And I peeled off the little dogs, then the bigger dogs, and finally it was just me.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Idon, what do you think about Luke and Czar? I should always remember that one.
Well, like I said with Luke, he's a good dog. Easy to get along with. I worry about his experience in the world around here, but he's smart. He'll adapt. I worry about Czar having such a heavy coat. This is an unpleasant environment for the volume of fur that Czar has. I'm not really sure where he got it or why he keeps it.
He should have shed it down.
But other than that, if any poor dog has to live with Bentley, then they're going to be all right with me.
Awesome. All right then. Well, we have and to find out real quick, Czar, how do you and Bentley get along?
Bentley is very mean to Czar, but he kind of tolerates Czar or Bentley, and but yeah, he's gotten more than one thwack on the nose. But of course, I get yelled at if I do anything back. So.
That Higgins, he's most unfair to you. So, I think we've, our whole group of you have been here in this desert expedition now for, there was weeks of travel, and now we've been here, and they've been digging holes, and it's been days into weeks here. And on several occasions, you've seen the humans get quite excited. Oh, they've struck some sort of rock, and they pull up the rock, and they'll look very excited, and they'll come back. But so far, no bones, not a single bone in any of these holes. What's the point of digging for holes if there's no bones? You've seen them open up big, huge holes, and then they just turn around and fill them back up. They don't even put anything in them. Just fill them back up. And as these days have stretched on, it's gotten pretty boring. I imagine that, the food's good. Finuku, you probably are eating well since there's no other pack with you. And you'll notice that, like, the There's a small group that stay in fairly fancy space. They have their own little setup, and they have very structured-y looking buildings they've made that are out of, they have wood and canvas. And then there's a lot more people that kind of come together, and they seem way more fun. They'll often throw you scraps. They like to howl when the fire's going on. They'll sit there. They'll howl as a group, and they're way more fun than the others. And it's the others that have their own dogs, and those are the ones you've sort of skirted around and seen and spoken a little with. But they're off of that. You've probably been enjoying much more of the mass of humans that are happy to toss you scraps. And as they've been working on things, you saw in particular that this group of humans, these large group of humans, had gotten quite excited about something they dug up. Kind of skirting around the edge of it, taking a look. I mean, you're curious, I'm sure. You see that they found a hole, like a stone cliff, but it was buried. And they had looked at it and become very excited and all left that hole. And then when these other humans came over and looked at it, they gone down and they'd kind of played around with the wall. But then they'd come out and you'd seen them over towards that group of humans who'd come back in and rather reluctantly had cleared a bit more, dug a bigger hole. But since then, they've moved off and dug a different hole, and a different hole since then, ignoring this one. Not a thing are they doing with it. But you have smelled something strange from that wall. It plays in your mind as you sleep at night, that smell. It's not like anything you've smelled before, but still it calls to you. And so, one of these nights where this smell is permeating, your nostrils, where you're thinking of it, you're dreaming. Normally dreaming is running across the sands. But in this dream, it's night, and you see an enormous dog in the distance. As you draw close, he seems familiar. His smell, it reminds you of your mother's smell. Do you approach him?
Of course, I can always run away if he's a problem.
As you move up to this huge dog, it looks down. Funuku, you are a good dog.
My own dog. Who are you?
I am the first dog.
The first dog? You should be dead.
Well, I am in your dream.
You are.
Funuku, these humans, they are digging a bad hole.
They seem to think it's a bad hole because they don't put anything worthwhile in it. And then they walk away.
They have disturbed something. They have dug up old bones that should have left buried.
Okay.
You are a pup of a great line, Funuku. Your forebears were numerous. Have you pups yet, Funuku?
No.
one day, your foresire, it is he who buried this bone, these bad bones.
Why is it bad? What will happen if they get these bones?
These bones do not rest easy. These are cat bones. Cat bones that want to walk as though they were living.
What happens if you eat the bones?
If you eat the bones, the cat will not walk.
I'll get Locke to eat the bones. He's big.
Yes. Fanuku. This cat will cause terrible, terrible things. Its bones must be gnawed.
We'll gnaw some cat bones.
And as this dream starts to fade away, you can see in your dream that wall, and you can see a crack forming in it. It opens not terribly wide, no more than a foot. But as it opens, you see a large rat crawl out. Then another. As they begin to pour from the crack.
I'd start doing the weird howling, low howl, moaning thing that Basenji do instead of barking and moving away and scampering away and then howling a few more times just in case you didn't hear it. And his tail's tucked between his legs because this is freaking him out.
And so you wake yourself up. You're back there at the edge of the camp. You could hear one of the humans kind of yelling in your direction. And as you wake up, the dream fades, but you remember it. We're going to shift over to you, Luke. The expedition has been going on for all this time, digging all of these holes, and here, though, in the last couple of days, your human, he hasn't been going out and doing the digs anymore.
Why not?
He hardly even gets out of his bed. His little cot, he coughs and he doesn't want to play.
Well, it takes me a long time of moral grappling, but I come to a very difficult and weighty decision. I go over into the corner and I pick up the stuffed mummy doll, Dread Crypt Lord Randolpho, and bring him in his saliva-soaked glory back over to Benny, and I'll put it down next to him on the cot and push it into him with my nose so that he can feel like how pre-soaked and ready to go it is.
He reaches over and he pulls it to his chest, his eyes open. Oh, and he's making those strange noises humans make, but it's the happy noise. It's the petting noise.
Well, I'll lick him in the nose and sort of whine a little bit.
He reaches out and he pets you, but as you lick him, the taste is sweat. Something is wrong. Some sickness has come to Benny. That terrible human that has that cat and Czar comes into the room and You see he's got one of those canisters, one of those things he brings the liquid in. You see him coming over and he begins giving it to Benny, and he get and runs you out of the tent.
Look over my shoulder as I'm going out and sit right outside the door and sort of poke my nose in the crack.
As you watch, he gives some of this liquid to Benny, who kind of coughs. And you could see that that human sort of pets Benny. Gets up, heads back out, shaking his head. Kind of walks past you.
The awful cat thing's not with him, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, Czar, in your tent, you've noticed that Higgins has he's been very busy. He seems to always be messing and mixing liquids on the table and putting things together. And I suppose you occasionally accompany him, right? You go with him when he moves?
Yeah.
He started moving amongst the other humans. He moves to one that is here, the human of Luke. You see him move into that large group of humans that do the digging. And there are a lot of them that, as you see, he goes to. They're laying in their beds. They're coughing. You see him give them his liquids, but the smell is of sickness. After one of these trips, you come back and you see Benny as you and Higgins walk back in, come up and rub against Higgins' leg, looking at you balefully. But it hops up onto the little table with the liquids and sits there watching him mix. Now, you can't really speak to Bentley, can you? But
Nope.
Have you worked out any sort of... one would guess, having known each other for a while, you have some sort of when Benny is angry, when Benny is not. So you could tell Benny is very pleased, almost happy, that awful cat, as he rubs against Higgins while he makes his liquids.
Benny's always angry. So this is very odd. Or Bentley, yes.
Yes. Do you wish to, like I say, you've seen these sick people, and you know Luke's human is one of them as well. Anywhere you'd like to go? Would you like to go speak with him or do something else?
Yeah, I'll go talk to Luke and say, like, just sorry, Master's got a lot of stuff to do today. He's being mean to everybody.
He came by and he was nice enough to Benny, but I think Benny needs a bigger water bowl. He's not feeling well, and he didn't bring him enough water in his little water bowl. I think Benny needs more.
It'll be okay. Masters or Higgins isn't really nice to people, but he walks around and gives them stuff, and usually they get better.
When? Because he came by and he talked to him, and Benny's not better now.
I guess it just takes longer.
Longer than what? It's been forever.
I don't know. I just know he gives them the stuff, and then Sometimes they get better.
Iden, you have been moving about the camp, and you've probably noticed others are sick. Though your master, Edmund, is he seems fit and hale, and in fact has been going and digging in the holes and that sort of thing. But you're walking by the tent as you hear Luke and Czar speaking. Do you engage them, or what would you like to do?
I think I stick my nose under the tent flap and just like,
Hi, Idon.
what's going on? We seem to have lots of problems, and I kind of crawl under the edge of the tent flap.
Luke's person is sick.
Benny is sick, and he didn't get enough water in his bowl. No one will bring him more water.
It's quite possible that he doesn't need water. I mean, we all need water.
Water, then what does he need?
I don't know. When you feel sick, do you always need water?
Well, no, sometimes it's grass, but we haven't seen grass in, like, years.
Sometimes we need sleep.
Well, what's your person doing? Is he sick?
No, he's not at home. I don't know what he's doing. Like, he goes out to the holes and he digs around, and he gets mad if I come too close.
Well, he doesn't dig right, you know. Benny says he could dig better. He could dig much better. Benny digs good.
Who else is sick? Are we in your
lots
tent?
of people.
Are we in
Higgins.
your tent, Luke?
Yeah, I think we're in Benny's tent.
Okay. So your tent.
Yeah.
Higgins visited a lot of people today. There's lots of people feeling sick.
Who else?
I have no idea. That guy over there, the one with the hat, the one with the mustache.
Sorry, just, gives me the willies.
Yeah, the mustache is weird.
As you're talking,
Moves on its own.
as you're talking, you see, let's see, Luke, I guess you probably know your tent best. You see a rat poking its head underneath the flap, digging its way into the tent.
Oh, well, I mean, I gave my chew toy away to Benny, and that's the only thing that keeps me from going full crazy dog on this rat. So I go full crazy dog on the rat.
All right.
Just immediately leaving the conversation across the tent, trying to get it. We'll probably try and either dig under the tent wall or bowl over that side of the tent to get at the rat.
All right, you rush over to try and get this rat. Why don't we have you roll a hustle?
So let's see. I have a 40 in hustle. I'm trying to get to 100.
Yes.
73, so 113.
Oh, very nice. You rush over quickly before this rat has a chance to move, and it looks up. Idon, you hear it go, "Oh no!" As we see Luke, leap over, and you're on top of it. Iden, what do you say?
I jump over there and I tell Luke he has a good eye, and then I get my nose down right next to it, my ears straight back, and I look straight at the rat and I'm like, "Fess up! What do you want? What do you want? Tell me now."
I'm hungry. Hungry. We have to run. We had to run.
Run from where? Who's we?
All my family. My family. We all run. The cat. The cat walks. The cat howls. The cat.
The cat? What cat? Bentley?
Why are you hissing like that?
I don't know. I don't know Bentley. I don't know what a Bentley. The cat that smells. It smells like spice. It smells like food, but not food. It laid forever. And now it moves.
Wait, are you talking to it?
I'm questioning it, and then I look back at the rat and go, "How big is this cat? Describe it to me. Is it fluffy? Excessively furry? Obnoxious? Haughty?"
It is dead.
Well, then why are you running from a dead cat?
It walks. It hunts. It moves. It just stood.
This thing tastes terrible. Are you done questioning it yet?
I will pant 5 times, and then you're going to say something that makes sense.
Probably not. I got a
Say
rat in my
something that
mouth.
makes sense, not you. Speaking rat.
The cat that never moves. It moves. And now our home we have to run. There are cats that you can't smell. Cats that make no sound. Cats that appear from nowhere.
I look at Luke and I look at Czar. I'm just like, I'm tired of these stories.
Oh, he's done questioning it. I'm going to break its neck now.
Roll me a brawn.
The 88.
Oh, you shake it, but perhaps in your haste and where you've been trying to talk out of the corner of your muzzle, as you shake, it squirms and hits the ground, jumping into the hole it made back under the tent, fleeing. You're humans! Your humans made this! Your humans woke the cat! Woke the cat! Woke the cat!
Growling and snapping after it.
I fill in the hole by flicking sand backwards over it like I just pooped.
Finuku, you, after your dream, have you been... where did you go after the dream?
I need to find Locke. Luke, Locke, Lutch. The big one. So I'm going to go find him.
Pronounced Luke. How many times do I have to tell you?
As you pad over towards his tent, you see a rat fleeing from underneath the tent and scurrying back towards where the mass of humans. And it's, it looks like it's fleeing for its life. It even is this little slobber covered.
Oh, so tempting. That's good eating. But no. I have to find Lutch.
And so Why don't we roll a canine compulsion? Let's see how
Okay,
well
cool.
we avoid.
Canine compulsion. My canine compulsion is 15.
And you're trying to roll under 100 in this case.
All right. I'm going to roll. There is a D100. I'm going to roll it, but it just looks like a circle with a number on it. I roll a 33.
Okay. Well, then you manage to and you do pad on over towards that unpronounceable strange dog's tent, where you could smell that there are 3 dogs inside as well as a human, and you can
stupid accent,
and you could definitely see the 4 paws of Luke digging underneath the tent where that rat came from.
You better run! I'll get you! I'll get your whole family!
I'll move right up to the nose. Hey, Lutch. Lutchy.
Luke!
What?
Luke! Luke!
Uh-huh. Yeah, hey.
Luke.
Yes. Hey, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. Maybe everybody, because you care about your humans, right?
Okay, you're not so bad. You roll in interesting things.
I know. Hey.
What'd you say about my humans?
It's a really bad
Did you get that
cat.
rat? Did you see that rat?
No, I saw him. He got away. No. Wait, hey, listen, Lutch. We need to get everybody together. All of your dogs. Because there's trouble with a cat.
Cat? Did you say our humans too?
Your humans are in trouble.
Aiden and Zar, you hear this conversation going on as well.
Exactly. Why would I keep it quiet?
And they're just on the other side of the tent. Yeah.
Is it Bentley? What's he doing now?
What? No.
I don't think it's Bentley, as much as I hate to say it.
It's Fanuku. It smells awesome. Fenica?
No. I mean the cat you're talking about.
Finikina.
Fanuku.
Phonoko.
Fanuku.
Luke! I'm gonna back up on my feet, pull my nose back under the tent wall. Okay, and after like chasing a rat and barking and yelling at Fanuku, I'm gonna go. Okay, shh, Benny's sleeping, so we need to go outside to have this conversation.
And so if you all follow behind Luke, you head out the tent flap, and you see Fanuku. As you're leaving, Luke, Benny he begins coughing. And you see him lean over the edge, and he kind of pulls in tighter your chew toy, holding it, and you see him spit out something onto the ground, and you smell blood.
I'm gonna lick him on the foot a couple times as I'm going out. Just let him know everything's fine. My tongue still works.
Y'all get outside and see Fanuku.
Should I go get Gunther? Gunter?
What's a Gunter?
Ugh. It's a giant, oversized rat.
Then no.
Okay.
You don't need rest as a dog think. There are cat bones where they are digging. And by we I mostly mean Luch, need to go in and bite all of the bones and grind them up, or the cat will walk again, and it will make people hurt.
Why Luke? I like bones.
Oh, well, then you too.
Wait, why does he get my bones?
I'll have to go faster. The fastest always wins. That's how it works.
I'm much faster, taller.
You would have the reach, Lutch.
Luke.
So you would have reach. I think this is something that either of you could win. It could be very close. We should see how this plays out. And by like that we need to go into the hole and find the cat bones and eat and grind them up before the cat hurts people.
In the hole where they've been digging?
Yes, in the latest hole of all the mini holes.
Well, why didn't you start with that? We obviously can't do that. We can't go in the hole that they're digging. We're not supposed to.
Right.
Okay.
Bad dog stuff.
So then I get the cat bones, is what you're saying. Because
What?
I don't have a master to tell me no. So I'll just go do it. That's fine. It probably takes to make... You know that bones age well.
No, well, but wait, why do you get them?
Like doing the little tail twitch thing.
Because Finuku doesn't have a master and can do it. Well, I don't have a... My master has never given me clear instructions about what to do around the holes.
Oh, okay. Then Idon, me and you, we're going. Those two others, they have to worry about what their masters tell them. Either the masters will get sick and die because an evil cat will come back.
What? Just because Idon is willing to engage in moral relativism, he gets more cat bones.
Well, I feel like if Luke and Zar can't help, while
I could help. We obviously could help.
I mean, they can sit at the edge of the pit and watch out while we eat the bones.
You gotta share the bones.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, Lich, we don't need immoral relatives. I don't care. We're just going for bones.
It could, take a while. We might have to chew on them quite slowly because we're not as big as they are.
Luke is like full on drooling at this point. It's sort of dripping down on the sand.
I love how marrow ages over centuries.
It gets very dry and somewhat flaky.
Oh, yes. It's like a pastry.
Okay.
Like a pastry.
Okay. I say something that I'm not very proud of, but Idon, I could use some of your philosophizing. If a master is in a tent and sick and definitely won't come out and can't see anything and won't know anything about it, is it still bad dog act?
Would you like me to ask your master for you? You know I understand humans.
Humans understand you?
You know I understand humans. I can usually get humans to understand me.
I did not. I have to admit, mostly I just try and pretend like you're not around because you're sort of annoying and use big words.
Human and me, yes, I know.
Well, okay, go ask him and just say that it's very important and I wouldn't ask if it weren't, and he would understand that I could do all sorts of good dog things later, and I would keep my tail very calm and I wouldn't knock over anything for at least hours. And if he would just say it's okay that I could go in this hole just this once to help with the cat bones because there's cat bones.
Of course.
All right.
I give you sort of the calm down nudge that dogs give each other, kind of right around the rib cage. Just calm down, stay cool.
All right,
Also, I give you the calm down nudge a lot because your rib cage is pretty much all I can reach to.
All right, you go back into the tent.
I go back into the tent, and then I nudge Benny's hand. Sort of like put my hand under Benny's hand, my head under Benny's hand.
He responds. He pets you on the head. Are you watching, Luke?
No, I'm out here sitting on my tail and not twitching and not pacing, except for a little bit, and then I sit on my tail again.
Benny pets you, Idon, and he... Now, you don't really understand humans.
I mean, I understand humans. You don't need to like listen when they talk to understand humans.
And he pets you, and he leans down, and he sort of nuzzles you, and you hear him say something, and part of you realizes he's saying it to Luke. I mean, he doesn't know it's you.
Mm.
But as he pets you, you hear that something you probably don't hear much from your own master. That those sweet sets of two syllables. That good dog, and hands you the toy.
I take the toy out to Luke, and I drop it at Luke's feet, and I'm just like, "We are on a mission, Luke."
He must have known it was important if he sent Crypt Lord Rodolfo with you.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to take our break here, as our dogs have certainly, it seems like they have a mission ahead of them. We will see if Czar, it sounds like Czar is willing to go, but we'll give you a sec to, we'll hear that when we get back. It is late in the day. We'd already had the doctor make his rounds, and so the sun is starting to get lower, and it's a little bit cooler as you guys will start heading out to the pit. Now, let's take about 5 or 6 minutes and come back. But here, if anybody would care to, here's a little song to listen to as you take your break. And we'll be back in about 6 minutes. sad, heart-wrenching things. Poor Benny.
Poor guy.
Right. Well, we'll get started back here in a sec. It's like,
You love a Muppets musical break.
oh, hard to beat the Muppets. Singing a Noel Coward tune. All right. Once we have John back, we'll set off from our tent as the sun is setting. I'll give him a second more. There we go. All right. And so our quartet of dogs set out from the tent and begin moving off to where the humans dig their holes. As you near I suppose we're going to have Fanuku is really going to be the one leading, because, I mean, you had seen what particular wall, what particular hole it was.
Also, I'm the fastest.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And so, as Fanuku kind of leading ahead, you all following, you kind of move out of the camp over towards there, when behind you, you hear, and looking back, oh, Czar, there's Bentley prowling away from the tents towards you.
I'm sorry, I can't understand a thing you say. You have a heavy kitten accent.
Bad dogs going off to get into trouble, aren't you?
No.
Aren't you supposed to be an indoor cat?
We're good dogs. I'm a good dog.
Do you translate at all for them, Idon? It's pretty clear what he's intimating here. That makes perfect sense. But are you doing any translation?
No, in fact, I'm not even making eye contact with Bentley. I mean, I'm sort of like trying to make it implicit in things I say what he said. But I'm not really making eye contact. I'm just sort of downward facing dog, upward facing dog. Check my tail to make sure it's there.
It's very clear to you, though, Czar, that he's displeased and looking at you with disgust. He goes, You're going to go and get into trouble.
Bentley thinks we're doing something bad.
You dogs always causing trouble.
You know, not only do you not make sense, but you're not really doing your ratting job. You know, you're supposed to keep the rats out of camp. I've seen at least a dozen.
They're running from...
Not you.
Not me, no. Not me. So I will be very high in the great Pride King's view. The cat wakes, and soon felines will run this world. Not you, not your humans.
Well, you can take comfort in knowing that if humans are ever overthrown, you didn't do any work for it.
He lifts his tail. You're going to get killed, and that makes me happy. And he sort of back scratches as though he's covering up some waste.
Bentley's happy about something. That's bad.
I turn around and do some vigorous back scratching myself to try and see if I can fling sand on him, or at the very least at him.
He scrambles back.
Far be it from me to understand what he's saying with that terrible kitten accent. But it's not his fault.
He sort of backsteps. You will be kibble. And he sort of prances along, just keeping out of distance of you as you continue along your way. Never quite close enough it's worth trying to charge him. But
Brad, I say, it's not, it's not your fault you don't speak clearly.
Rude dogs. Stupid dogs. As you continue on to getting to this dig, you can see where the humans had indeed made a really impressive hole. Humans are good at digging holes. Now, they tend to use sticks and things to help them, but they are good at making big holes. And this one is quite large. And indeed, the sides of it are kind of slanted down, and you see where sand has sort of begun filling it in. But up against the back of it, Finuku, you recognize that wall from your dream, and you could see that there is that crack that you saw opening in your dream there. And you could see, all of you could smell, and Finuku, since you're there first, you could definitely see there are 4 or 5 rats at the hole, looking around and looking back. They look scared even before you think they've sighted you or smelt you. What do you do?
Rats. They're scared. Who cares? Stupid rats.
Rats are supposed to be scared.
Brr. Is that other rat there? I'll get him. I'll get him this time.
It is not.
Gotta focus.
Lukey.
All right, rats, explain your business here. This is a human hole.
They
not
look
a
up
rat
at
hole.
you. Dogs.
That's right. Dogs with questions.
I don't like it when he hisses.
The cat, it kills our families. It makes us run, but there's nowhere to run.
Well, you can't run here. It's a hole.
They look back over their little ratty shoulders into the darkness. It stalks us. It pounces. We have to run. We have to run. And the quiver goes through those 4 as they just scoot out of the hole. And behind them begins coming dozens more of these rats. They begin swarming out of the hole, and they're splitting up. But you see that a good many of them, probably 5 or 6, are rushing in your direction. And they look crazed, and you can hear them, Idon. There is nothing but fear and horror in their squeaks.
So I think at first, as Idon hisses at these rats and manages to convince them to do this mass exodus for no good reason, Luke's jaw sort of drops and he's impressed, and then they start running and hissing at us. And oh well, that didn't work quite so well. But still, magic rat controlling powers, not bad.
I start barking loudly at the rats to get them to run the other direction.
All right. Why don't we have you... let's see. You don't have a fearsome bark, I don't think. But
I do have animal magnetism.
You do. So why don't we have you roll an animal magnetism to try and move these rats from coming at you, your group.
That is 116 or 136.
Oh, wow. Oh, nice. So you watch as Idon begins barking at these rats, and even in their fear, they know better than to come up towards this lip. You see them skittering, and they start running away, running into each other, and begin spreading out. Most of them are heading off towards that collection of all the humans that dig, but some others are just running out into the sands. And at that hole, you can see the hole is completely plugged, as there's this mass of rats. They seem to be scrambling against the wall, trying to get out, but can't. Idon, as you look down at it, these rats squeak almost in unison. We are the king. We are the king.
You're a king, then you can hire people to get you out of there.
Scramble, scramble, scramble. Dog, serve us. We are king.
They're a king?
What's happening? They're real gross.
They're very gross, and they say they're kings.
So, should we bite them? Step on them?
I think we throw them out of our hole.
You humans would like that.
They would. They don't like rats at all.
Not like the cat's going to do what he's supposed to do.
Looking over at Bentley, he's sort of moved back, and you see that one of the rats did get close enough, and he has pinned it down and is smirking over the top of it.
Come on, Zara, let's go show them what's what.
Okay.
Leaping down the side of this hole, the sand slides as you move closer, where this mass of rats is, plugging in this hole, and you can, as you get close, you see their tails all intertwined. They have been almost formed into one big mass by the knots that their tails have made. And as you come close, they look over, and their eyes are feral. They are gnashing their teeth. Dog, serve us!
You! Nonsense rats! Get out of there! Bad rats! You're being bad dogs!
Do you leap in and try and yank them out?
Well, there's suddenly a lot of them, so I sort of side-eye Zar to see how much backup I'm getting here.
Yeah, Zar will jump in.
Excellent. Why don't we roll a brawn then? And this will be opposed, so I'll be rolling this one against you, as we're kind of getting in a dog pile.
Well, I was definitely going to do that too. Should I roll?
You can, yes. So, how about if we're getting into a dog pile? First off, we'll have these two enter. If anyone else wants to jump into this dog pile, they may. Roll one die. This is a game with initiative. How long's it been since we've played games with initiatives? But roll 1d, and I will roll one as well, because I'm a GM that rolls in this game as well.
So roll one 10-sided die?
Yes, just one 10-sided die.
Okay.
And high is fastest.
I got a 1.
All right. So
I got an 8.
Excellent. So I think unless somebody is better, we're starting with your 8. As you jump forward, are you attempting to just like bite in and wrench?
Yeah, just kind of like start throwing them out of the way. So get! They told you to leave.
All right. So roll with brawn. I'm going to roll my own. Reroll selected.
So
all right. I've got a 61. Sorry.
Yeah, I actually rolled before you asked for the initiative,
That's
and
cool.
I had a 17, which added to my brawn is 102.
Ooh, good brawn. Well, 102. You got over 100, so you succeeded. My roll, I rolled a 61, and adding in my 30 for them makes a 91. So I did not succeed. And so you have, first off, you've bitten into them and grabbing hold of one of them, and you can hear its bones crunch beneath your bite. We will. I'll explain real quick. Your damage would come off of, what did you say you rolled for your roll?
102, for the roll was 17.
17. So that will go off of the 10s roll is your damage. So it's 1. However, you are a large dog, is that correct?
Yes.
Which will give you bonuses compared to their small size, meaning you get +3 more, meaning you did 4 points of damage on this rat, and that is more than enough to squish this rat. So as you bite into it, it crunches beneath you, and the whole mass of them sort of staggers back. I suppose you're jumping in. Well, does anybody go 7, 6, 5, 4? 4 is the rats, which are going to attempt to bite back at you, there, Czar. So I'm going to roll, and you get to roll a dodge to avoid being hit by me. That was where I was rolling previously.
Okay, I got a total of 62.
Well, they got a total of 85, but unfortunately for them, still got to get 100. And so they're nipping at you, so they're probably pulling off pieces of fur. I mean, what does it look like as you jumped in here?
As there's like just Czar is just a massive dog, so like pretty much just like pushing the pile down around him. There's just so many that he can't get to them quickly enough, and they're just all around him. He's just kind of stomping all around and grabbing what he can.
As they're nipping at you, I believe now is when you'll jump in, Luke. Are you wishing to hop in and bite at them? Or something else?
Yeah. I think as they're like the back end of them is probably scrabbling and holding on and trying to pull back through that hole away from Czar. I'm sort of coming in with 4 paws, digging them out and biting at the rear ones to drive them into Czar's bulk.
Ooh, fantastic. All right, then. I think because, you've got an advantage of somebody working with you to kind of come up with a clever thing, I'm going to give them a -20 on their roll. So you're rolling straight, and they have the negative.
This is brawn, right?
You're doing brawn. They're going to be trying to dodge.
I got a 100. Plus 55 is 155.
Oh, wow. So you rolled 100.
I rolled a 100.
Well, that's a critical. As it turns out, with my negatives, I rolled a 35. So that means you did, let's see, you're a big dog?
Yep.
Oh, my gracious. Ever so much damage. I believe that you would naturally be doing 13. So 26. As you kind of move in, biting into and this mass, and you manage to like shove it out of the hole. You yank it, pull it, tossing it towards Czar, and
I definitely think it's like it's a back and forth throwing this rat pile back and forth between us as more and more of them sort of like their spines snap or they get bitten into, and yeah, it's a bloody mess by the end.
It's a bloody mess because even pulling them out, you actually squished and killed some of them coming through the hole they couldn't fit. And between the two of you, you guys just this mass of rats collapses down as you guys are covered in blood. As the hole opens, you see some rats, single rats, who manage to escape running away. Idon, you hear from above as these rats are screaming, the cats with no bodies! The cats with no bodies stalk! They stalk the shadows! As they're running away. You've just watched this, Fanuku. They're a bloody frickin' mess down there. What do you say?
They were afraid of the cats. That was good work.
Funoko, I feel gross. I feel real gross.
Well, you look it.
Do you know where there's some grass I could roll around in?
We're in the desert.
But do you know where there's some grass I could roll around in?
Near the Nile.
Oh, where's that?
It's a ways.
I feel gross.
Um,
That was fun. I wish there was more rats to play with.
I was going to ask, I'm guessing you probably feeling great. As the last few of these rats escape and run from the hole, both of you down there at it, even over the smell of blood and these dead rats around you, you smell something coming out of that hole. Cat. Stinky, vinegary, bleachy cat pee smell.
Mm.
I think as I come up back over and rejoin them, and I'm sad about being gross, I grab up Crypt Lord Randolpho, and I sort of flump down into the sand, and I'm not paying attention to the cat smell. I'm not thinking about it as I'm chewing on my chew toy, and sort of like rubbing sideways at the sand or some dunes here, and I think I just end up with like sandy, red, clumpy sort of dreadlocks sticking out all over me.
As you're looking down at this, Finuku, do you go and join them?
No, that looks like a terrible idea. We have cats now. It's more than one cat, according. Oh wait, I don't understand the rats. We have to take care of the cat. We need to kill the cat bones and chew them up. So whenever you're done.
Isn't the smell of the cat coming from the hole?
It is.
Well, Czar, where is the cat smell coming from? I'm standing on top of the hole, so I'm assuming I can't really.
In the hole?
Oh, like the one they were coming out of?
Yeah. But, if you guys don't want to come down, I can go get all the bones for myself now.
I'll go sliding down the edge.
You get down to the front of the hole, and you can definitely smell that cat smell coming out of it. And something else rot. Old rot.
Yeah.
How is it down there?
There's something you'd only want to roll in if they bathed you. And then I realized that's an insensitive thing to say around Finuku, who doesn't get bathed.
Oh yeah, we were trying not to mention it.
He doesn't. I mean, he doesn't get ear scratches, but he also is not forced to take baths.
Mm-hmm. Nice trade-off. I'll go down the slidey thing.
All right. As you slide down to the bottom, and you're all looking at this hole, and the smell is so noxious. The sun has, down here in the hole, it's all shadowed, and it's kind of orange above you. And at the lip of the hole, you see silhouetted against that light, Bentley looking down. The king of all cats will make dogs run like rats.
Get out of here, stupid cat!
No. He caught one rat. For a year on the job, that's exceptional for a cat like yourself.
I can eat you all. And he steps around and he actually sprays back down the hole towards you.
I yell up, well, luckily for us, you won't eat us unless somebody serves us in a delicate bowl and clinks on it.
What'd you say? Did you insult his parentage? You should have insulted his parentage.
I insulted his character and his workmanship.
It seems an esoteric form of insult, but I'll go with it.
This hole is broad enough that certainly Fanuku, and I'm pretty sure that you, Idon, you're a medium, aren't you? Yes.
Yep.
Y'all could easily get through it. It might be a bit of a squeeze for the other two.
Well, yeah, but this is a hole dug by people, right?
It's a crack in this wall.
Oh, well, my point, though, is it hasn't really been got at by good, skilled diggers.
Now, that's very possible.
I mean, humans are very proud of the holes they dig with machines, but then they need machines to get in and out of those holes as well. Whereas if a hole is dug by a dog, the dog knows how to get into it and out of it without any assistance. Usually.
Exactly. Mostly.
Yes.
As long as it's not stairs. Stairs are evil.
That's not a hole we dug, though.
Oh, true. Well, I mean, afterwards.
All right. Well, then, are you going to attempt Czar or Luke to dig out this hole some?
Czar says, I can probably fit.
Czar? Czar?
Yeah?
Would you rather fit comfortably?
Yeah.
There may be a cat bone in there, and you want to get your jaws wide around it.
Right. And?
So we should widen the hole.
Oh, okay. But I can probably fit.
So certainly a large muscular dog like yourself. Definitely.
So, I suppose, Czar, you move up to the hole and start pushing through?
Sure.
All right, let's roll a brawn.
Alrighty.
I'm going to say this probably is, it's a little difficult, so, I'm going to give you a 10 penalty on this.
Okay, so that is a 10 would be 100 or like a 0, right? So that would be a 7 minus 10, 82.
Ooh. You shove in and you get stuck. Your front paws are close into your chest, and you guys behind him, he's up, about past his shoulders, completely blocking this hole.
I seem to not be able to fit.
Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, no one foresaw that.
Man, if we could have foreseen that, that would have been a lot more convenient.
Yes.
Are you sure you can't fit? Have you tried going forward?
Yep. Can't go forward. Can't go back.
Can you see anything?
Looking ahead, it's pretty dark in there, but you have good eyesight, and you can see with the cracks of light coming around, there is a long, you've of course been in houses, you've been in the human buildings. It's quite broad. It's easily 4 or 5 dogs wide, and tall, so tall that even a human couldn't reach to the top. Going straight down, made solely of stone. There are pictures on it. All of these pictures. And you can see that there are cats. But you also see that there is a dog. He looks, honestly, a lot like Fanuku. Except he's wearing some sort of human thing. Like where humans put things on their heads. But this one goes up and kind of curls around his chest. And as you're looking, you could see these images of that dog barking at the cats, and the cats turning and running on these walls as you look around you.
Do I see? I see a picture of that dog, or I see
You see a picture of that
Okay.
dog.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real big in here, and there's pictures of dogs.
Pictures of dogs? I want to see pictures of dogs. I'm gonna go digging at the hole to get him out of the way so I can go through.
All right. Does anybody help Luke do that?
On the other side, I could pull ears or something.
All right.
I'm gonna dig out a little around, just subtly, just so Czar thinks he did it himself. Just subtly dig around where his paws are to give him a little extra room to maneuver.
All right.
I can get in and out of those where his paws are without him noticing right now.
Excellent. So you're carefully moving things to the side. We have Luke, who's kind of pulling at things a bit more broadly. And we have Fanuku, who is yanking on, trying to pull through. And I think that they don't have a giving you advantage. I had been taking this as a -1 or a -10. So I think I'm going to give you a straight up rule with these people helping you there, Patrick, for Luke to dig in and try and open this hole up.
All right.
On.
Oh, that's 128.
Pushing back, and where we've had fudge, Idon, helping move things aside, and with your efforts, there's a bit of a crack, and some of that stone shifts. You suddenly are pushed through, and probably I think you and Fanuku sort of tumble as you land there inside. And the hole is open.
And there's like half of a Luke hanging through. Go, the pictures. Where's the pictures?
I knew I could fit.
Looking around, you see those pictures as I described. And, the light is dimming behind you. It's growing dark and night. But now that you're in here, it's strangely lit down this hall. You see this greenish yellow color that sort of fills the area. No human would be able to see in here. But of course, dogs have superior sights.
Those don't even look like proper dogs at all. Where's their fur?
I thought that dog back there was rather handsome. He had a weird hat.
Oh, I forget sometimes that you with the... I mean, not that there's a problem with your fur is lovely today.
I look at Fanuku and sort of just shake my head.
Looking at these paintings, are these drawings on these walls. As you come in, you can definitely see this dog that, again, looks very much like Fanuku with its hat, is barking and chasing cats down this hallway in these paintings. And as you kind of all get in here and are looking down, you can see where maybe 20 dog lengths down the way, there's a statue to either side of this passageway. Well, you see 2 dogs that look like Fanuku, but they smell like stone. And they have that hat on them. Sitting, looking down the hallway ahead of you.
Sitting dog style or sitting human style?
Sitting dog style.
We'll go over and sniff one.
You move over, sniff it. Of all the smell of cat and, most especially cat pee, because there's nothing that overwhelms the smell of cat pee. But as you smell this dog, you smell wind. You smell the fresh air of the desert. You smell dog. Strong alpha dog from this statue. Even though as your nose touches it, it's hard. It is stone.
Are these dogs or statues?
Well, they're rocks are. It's like sometimes when you're scratching your back on the grass and you look up and the clouds of the sky look like a bone or a bowl of food or that other bone. It's like that. You're just seeing things in the stone.
Okay. But it looks like a dog. It smells like a dog.
It's a dog.
Do you go up to it, Fanuka? Are you sniffing?
Of course.
As you move up and sniff it, it's so familiar. It's the smell of your dream. It's the smell of your mother. It's the smell of your brothers and sisters. And as you smell it, you feel in yourself as though you can almost recognize all of the dogs that were before you, all of the dogs that sired you, that have waited and watched and guarded. You as a, you never lived with humans. You never lived by their rules. But something in you as you smell this says, I have a duty to guard, or they have a duty to guard, and I'm a part of that. Maybe closer to it. They feel like your pack, your family.
My family are pets.
Well, you're not all bad then, I guess. Maybe you have a little bit of good dog in you yet. As I'm coming up to nose by, and it's cute that all these dogs are smelling this stone here and giving their impressions, but this is a professionally trained nose, and so I'm gonna come over and I'll be sure to tell them what's what with this thing.
All right. You have, I believe, an educated schnoz, don't you?
The mighty sniffer.
There we go. Which allows you to, when you roll alert, is that correct?
Try an alertness roll, yeah.
Yes.
It's a 108, but I did not hit the trick because I only rolled a 58 on my dice.
Oh, still though, as you sniff at it, you could smell the cat smell all around. You could smell where the rats had come by this, but the rats seem to have never touched these dog statues. The dog statues still smell of dog. They still smell of freshness. But as you're sniffing, you do smell something from down that passageway. You smell a bone.
Bone?
It's old.
An old bone?
And it smells, honestly, a little like Higgins.
Well, that's odd.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe he kept it in his pocket or something?
Maybe. Higgins has this odd smell of all the little things he gives to people and has about his body. You smell something a little like that.
So I think I come sort of prancing over, my ears poked up, my chest out, like all proud, like I'm going to tell you everything about this statue. I take half a sniff of it, and then my nose goes to the ground, and the tail starts going, and I just start like going forward, sniffing down this bone. Just happy, happy, happy.
All right. You see Luke go over to the side, but now he's headed off down the hall, nose to the ground. What do you do?
Follow him.
Following?
Yeah.
Everybody? All right.
Oh, no,
You following?
They're coming to get my bone. I sort of look over my shoulder and I start going faster.
You're trotting, the group following behind. as you're passing,
faster.
as you head down this passage, maybe only you, Iden, are paying enough attention. Perhaps you as well, the rest of you. But Iden, you seem like the sort of dog who keeps an eye out around them. And I saw a bit of hesitation as the others went. You see that past these dog statues, that you don't see that dog on these pictures on the wall anymore.
What?
Now all you see are cats. Cats looking proud. Cats sitting on the shoulders or on the heads of humans in chairs. Cats eating from golden bowls. All down these pictures. As you come, Luke, unless, of course, Finuku decides to get ahead, to a door that is almost completely closed. It is cracked, only about this far, but you know doors. And through it is definitely the smell of that bone.
I make a low bark just to get Finuku's attention.
What?
And I'm pointing. I got my back up, and my tail's up, and my ears are back, and I'm pointing to where the dog was, the big dog was in the painting. The one who looks like you. And I'm just growling.
It's kind of my place, obviously.
It's not there anymore.
What?
It's not there. Finuku. Where'd the other dog go? Where'd all the cats come from?
Came out to help us. The other dog.
That's not what the art was like before. Don't change the art unless some human comes and changes it.
Oh, you could pee on it.
Yeah, but it doesn't really erase anything. I've tried.
Well, we still need to kill the cat, and a dog to help us is good. Right?
The dog isn't there.
The
dog's not there. Dog's not there, Finuku.
This is true. I'll go sniff around where the dog was and see if I can figure it out.
As you begin smelling, kind of back up the way you went. As you come close to, where those dog sentries, where they were sitting, watching down this hallway, and you could see at that point, there was my dog sneezing. You could see at that point this sort of, in these paintings, the cats living so proud, almost domineering over the humans. And as you grow close to those two statues, you can see in their faces that they're snarling, that this is the edge of where they guard. That past here is where the cats lair.
Anything past this, they can't help us. Not that they helped us much before, but there was always the possibility of help, I assume, from the weird stone dogs. But we can always run back here. Always.
Are you sure that's what it means?
I'm sure.
All right.
Absolutely sure.
Are you sure in the sense that we tell Luke we're sure about things? Or are you sure in the sense of that Bentley is terrible?
Aren't both true?
Okay. All right. Go get that phone.
At the door, Luke, you and Czar, I think you probably moved up to it. You were in the lead, Luke. Are you nosing open this door?
Yeah, if I can.
You can.
Shoulder bumping it.
It slides open, and the smell from inside is very much, and you're smelling it too now, Czar. That sort of smell that's like Higgins' tent. And you also can smell bone and remains, but it's not a beef bone. It's not a pork bone. As the door opens and you look in, you can see that there are, humans like to sit around things and they put their plates and they eat on top of them. Well, there are those sorts of things. There are 3 of them, but they're all of stone. They're just a solid stone. And on top of each of them, you smell bones, and you could see that there are multiple bones held together, a skeleton, a human skeleton on each of them. What do you do, Czar?
Czar's gonna go over and kind of sniff at the bodies or the skeletons. Are these the cat bones?
Definitely not cat. Luke, what are you doing?
I'm looking at them too. They're just like skeletons laid out on these tables.
There are rags and pieces of cloth hanging from them.
Luke like whines and his tail goes between his legs and he backs up against the door. Crypt Lord Randolfo. Benny said he wasn't real. That's why I could chew on him, because he wasn't real. Because Crypt Lord Randolfo's not real, but they're Crypt Lords. Czar, get away! They're gonna eat your face.
They're bones. They don't eat faces.
They're
reach over and grab one, Czar.
They smell like people.
They smell like bone. I mean, the smell of people has long since left.
Yeah, then he'll pick one of the big bones and just.
You grab hold of it and pull it down, and there's a bit of rattle as the other bones sort of shift. You turn back, I suppose, looking, and Luke, you see him with his bone. It is very tasty, Czar. It's old, but has never been gnawed before. And as you on it a bit, it's a fine bone, good long length. In fact, a femur, if anyone here happened to know. And so it's only you, Luke, who notices as the rest of the bones sit up, reach past Czar to grab the end of the bone he has in his mouth and begin tugging on it. Sorry. This is now, they're pulling at your bone. What do you do?
I pull back.
Absolutely. All right. That sounds like a brawn. And this is an opposed one, so no negatives. So roll a brawn as this poor skeleton is attempting to get his leg back.
Okay, 99, so that's 174.
Woo!
Or 184. Yeah.
Well, that is, I got a 5. So even though he's I have stats for these guys, and he's extremely good at trying to grab his own leg back. With a 5 roll, it is still only a 75. As he pulls at it, and you rip it from his hands.
And
Looking
Czar,
back,
with that much on a brawn check, you could let out a blood-curdling bark, too, if you wanted.
yes, you could.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
This
Try and get them to back away.
looking at this skeleton, and it's got the wraps of linen around it, and it does have, there's some actual jewelry pieces on it, and it was trying to pull. As you pull the leg so hard, the wrist and the finger bones sort of go psh, and split and fall to the ground. Its arm sort of collapses off as it goes, and then just sort of falls inert there on top of its little table.
And as it's already fallen apart, and Czar has already shown his bravery, I'm definitely like, I'm right behind him barking too. I was barking the whole time. I was just as brave as Czar.
Fanuku, y'all hear this coming from inside that door, the barking and the rattling of bones.
We should go in. They need some help.
They're gonna need help.
Yeah.
You come inside the door and you see this mess of bones that has collapsed, and you see a very happy Czar with a large bone in his mouth. You see Luke barking, and you can also see that there are two other masses of bones on top of little tables that they're not near. Iden, as you're looking around, this is a more open area. You can see there are two doors that are leading out of it, both of which are cracked slightly. And you could see again these paintings. And looking at there are these drawings on the walls. And looking around them, you see humans with cats on their shoulders. As though, oops, we lost you. With cats on their shoulders, as though the cats are directing them. You see them picking up things like a cat bed. You see them holding fish up for their cat. The cat's riding on their shoulders. Some of these paintings even show cats pooping in front of humans with little scoops prepared to pick up their poop.
That's a tragedy.
It is repulsive, but not surprising.
Pets.
That's right. You stay down. Yeah, we'll get you, Crypt Lord Randolfo. You guys missed it. Crypt Lord Randolfo tried to kill Czar, but it was okay. I saved him because we barked him to death with barks. Bark!
Well, I hope there are other ways to defeat him.
Has anyone noticed the paintings of cats?
Yeah.
Ew. Are you looking at paintings of cats? That's gross.
Just to let you know, Czar, you have picked up a, let's see, it's one of the toys. Find it real quick. The really good bone. I can never find that little piece.
It's the
bone of plenty.
Pet perks. That's it. You have picked up a bone of plenty.
Woo! Sure, Hibbs will love that if I bring it back.
All right. You're all in here in this room. Luke, you see he has a bone. Are you going to go mess with any of these other bones?
well, I don't want to get attacked by more Crypt Lords because that seems terrifying. But we already beat up this one here, and I mean, I imagine Czar thinks he stole the best bone, but again, professional knows. Obviously, he overlooked the rare vintage of the batch.
Well, you can certainly go over there and take a sniff and a look, and pull out another delicious bone. It is still not quite going to. It's not our bone of plenty there, but you do pull out a bone.
Of course
that you
not.
can,
It's specialer and better than that thing.
and you pull it out and nod. Funuku, what are you doing?
So there were paintings and there's a bone. I got a little. What is the current situation? So a little.
They stole the leg bone of one of these lying there skeletons, which you weren't in the room for, but which
Right, and that's the thing. Okay, all right, cool. We need to find the cat bones, guys. Cat bones. The bones of cats and pulverized, like chew them up.
I was gonna say these aren't cat bones. Also, it's kind of creepy that you're both going for human bones.
What?
Oh, it's fine. You guys are learning not to be pets. Good job.
Human bones.
These aren't human bones. They're Crypt Lord bones.
That's where Crypt Lords come from. They start as humans.
What? Just drops out onto the ground.
Clap, 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 clap.
No, clearly someone left these bones here for us. Why else would there be bones here? Wouldn't somebody bury them?
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Fanuka, I imagine you're sniffing over towards the other doors. Idon, you're talking with them, but what are you doing?
I'm trying not to despair as I worry at my paw. Like, there's something caught between it, but really it's just I need time to think.
As Fanuka, you reach the first of these doors and smelling down it, it does have that smell of cats, but it's fainter. And you smell, well, you have been to the oases before. You have probably even been to the river. Birds. The big birds. The big birds with the sharp beaks. That's what you smell down this doorway. Sniffing at the other, you smell that cat smell still, but on top of it, you can smell again that rot that's in this room, that smell of the bones, the smell of that medicine-y, incensey smell, very much like this room down the other door.
There are birds over there. Kill some more birds. Do you guys smell birds?
I'll hunt birds.
Did you say birds?
Cats. You need to deal with cats.
But cats like birds. They get all stupid around birds and they make noises. They're like, ah, 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 and then you can sneak up behind them and get them because they're looking at the birds.
I have no idea what just happened.
We should go for the cats.
We should go for the cats.
Does anyone have any chalk?
What?
What's chalk?
Maybe some pitons? I feel like spiking the door. Do you guys know what that is? I just have that urge.
I sniff for traps.
I knew a spike back in London, and
So
we were close once, but we ended things.
at that story, Finuka walks over and does that like shoulder, like walk along shoulder rub thing along Ida to show his. Oh, sorry about that.
That's the problem with rough trade. Sounds like you wanting towards more of that catty smell. You go to the door that smells similar to this, and Finuka, you've stuck your nose down and looking through it. You all can squeeze through, open this door sufficiently to go through. And it has another hallway that you can see looking down it. There are cat statues, much like those dog statues, one on either side. Their backs are arched, their tails come across the top of their heads. And even in this very dim green light, their eyes sparkle. You're seeing this, Finuka. What do you do?
So I'm sorry. What do I see again?
You're looking down the hallway, and again we have that greenish light, and in the hallway on either side of it, much like the dog statues that were looking into this tomb, you see two cat statues looking back up at you, all obsidian and black, tail curled over, and whatever their eyes are made of glint and sparkle in this light.
Cat statues. But we're on the right way. Let's go. And he's going to try to walk like right down the line in the very middle, as far away from each cat as possible.
We know where the dog statues are.
As you begin walking down this passageway, to either side, the pictures show cats in anger, their backs arched, their tails spread wide. And as you get close, within about 30 feet, both of those statues go, and the tail whips slightly.
I thought there were statues.
They're statues. Just go faster. It's all a trick. Go. I'm running.
You're running. All right.
I can. Just take it off.
All right. Then I think let's have you roll a hustle.
Oh, I do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I also have a trick, which basically this trick means you do hustling by rolling hustle. I honestly think it's maybe the stupidest trick I've read in the book, because it's the magic power of doing the thing that stat is built for. But that's fine. I rolled a shitastic 35, but luckily my hustle is a 70, so I've rolled 105.
All right. You jet past them. What'd you say you got as total?
105.
Excellent. Yes, you jet past the two of them, and as you do, these statues move, and both of them, but you jet past them with no troubles getting to the other side of them. And they don't turn. Their tails still whipping, looking back towards your friends. But you have passed them.
Well, I'm at the other end. I prance around, tails wagging furiously. I do my little yodel howl thing, which I've listened to some on YouTube. It's crazy weird. Come on. Just fast. Just go fast.
You just saw that, Czar. What are you doing?
If he says we can just run past him, I'm just going to try and run past him.
All right, well, that sounds like a hustle for you as well.
He is not as good at hustle, but let's try it. So 5 and 10 is a 50 plus my hustle. That is a 90.
As you come getting between them, they slash out at you and hit you. Each of them is slashes across your flanks, doing 3 apiece. You can attempt to dodge one of them if you would like. Which you can roll that. You will be rolling with a -20 because...
Okay. So let me see. I have a trick. War Dog. I rolled 40 or more on a failed dodge check. You were bred for fighting and you can shrug off wounds that other dogs would feign at. If you roll 40 or better on a dodge check but still fail, you suffer only half damage from the attack round up. And you don't lose top dog status.
Fantastic. So as you barrel through it, they slash at you, but you only take half damage from it, so you only take 3 points of damage. But these rocky claws did slash into you. As you get over to the other side of Finuku. Luke, you just saw that.
Oh, that was not easy.
Yes, and I have been looking forward to the chance of taking something out on cats because that stupid Mr. Bentley around with us all the time. His poop and his tail and his stupid fur everywhere. So I, instead of running down the center of things, just swerve off and run directly headlong, jumping into one of those.
Oh, fantastic. All right, then. Why don't you roll a brawl? This sounds like an opposed.
Hmm. Uh, 115.
Ooh, that's very good. Huh. I got a 109. That's a shame. You smack into it. You doing your damage, which is, what was your first die?
6.
6. You're same size. You crack it across its catty face, hitting it. And are you just trying to get by it, or are you trying to stay in a dogfight with it?
I'm trying to knock it off its pillar and down to the ground, or if that's not possible, knock the whole pillar down to the ground, sort of thing.
All right. You hit it, and barreling into it and taking, your weight as its claw comes up, and there's a sharp crack as your weight and it trying to move has caught its balance wrong, and one of its legs of this statue breaks, and it sort of goes and hits the ground, and you can see it going at you. As you slide past it if you wish, or you could stand behind it and just go bam, bam, bam on its head if you wanted to. But I'm interested to know, Idon, what are you doing?
I bark at it to tell it to stand down.
All right.
And let the dogs pass.
Let's roll that animal magnetism. I will say this is pretty difficult. So this is a -30.
-30? Okay. Double check scores so I can do math. That is a failure.
As you move up and barking at it, it hisses, and just like lightning quick, it steps over and slashes towards you. I will give a roll for me real quick, and you can attempt to dodge if you would like.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I've got a 125.
One sec. That's an 82.
It hits you and kind of slams you to the side. It does 7 points of damage to you as it rakes across your flank and knocks you to the side off kind of where Luke and the one on the ground is. You probably let out a bit of a yelp of pain. What do you do?
I cry out very loudly and tell it it's a bad, bad cat.
Luke, he's right there in front of you, and you can see he got smacked pretty good. What are you doing?
Well, these cat things are obviously weaklings, so I'm just jumping on the other one.
All right. Roll a brawl. And you have top dog, so if you have anything that applies to that.
No. That's 3 better than last time, so 118.
Ooh, all right. Well, I got a 13. So yes, you hit it, and as you kind of land on top of it, your weight crushes it down, and its legs sort of powder underneath you, and it lands its catty face straight into the stone floor, and out from its eyes, ping, 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 pops those glowing little stones, and they roll across the ground, and it just collapses down beneath it.
I sort of like scamper dance in a circle around the two of them, sort of wagging my tail.
As you are now all have been moved back, the cat statues laying out there, one completely destroyed, the other kind of... we're going to end, I believe, our session as the two of the cat statues falling down, hitting the ground.
You said one of them was still moving?
Still moving a bit.
I think before I joined the group, like just outside of its paw swipe range, I stop and raise a leg and, relieve myself, then move on.
Absolutely. And as you turn back in the group looking at this, and, poor Dinon is kind of hurt. From the passage ahead of you, you hear this high-pitched squeal, screech. And that's where we will end. Thank y'all for playing Dog. I will say it may not be the most complex or the most subtle of games, but there is something sweet and neat about it.
It's super fun.
It's fun.
If we've got just a few minutes, if folks would like, I'm not going to do a full Roses and Thorns on this one. I would like to hit one for our last one. But if people would be interested, could I hear maybe a flag for stuff we might want to see or things you might want to ask other players or me to highlight on your character for us going to the next one? Just kind of a flag set for our next game, something you'd like to see. Rich, or Richard, I'll go for that end. Richard, any thoughts on what you might like to see in our next game?
I don't have any strong thoughts right now. I hit all the notes. I've told Rich Rogers before that intelligent animals that are not anthropomorphic is my jam. My highly specialized
You're so
jam.
good. Your jam is so good.
Specialized, like this is the thing I love. So it's I really, really appreciate you running it. So thank you.
Awesome, cool, and I love everything you do, Richard, and it's always so much fun to see what you're bringing, and you are bringing it. Rich, anything you'd like to flag for next time? Something you might like to see?
I'm looking forward to Aftermath of the Crypt delve to see how things affect with the humans and stuff. I really like the stuff you were setting up there with all the owners and the pets along those lines. That was fun.
Cool. And I'd like to see that too. I think the tomb itself it's fairly limited. We're going to get through it, I think, by halfway point, and then we'll deal with the neatness of coming out of it too. I think that'll be cool. Patrick, flags, thoughts for next time, something you'd like to see? You're muted, my love.
Some stupid mute. I also would like to get back to the camp and interact with some of the people and some of the ridiculousness there. But as far as the rest of the crypt, I was sort of digging the Fanuku the Prophesied One vibe that was going on. I wouldn't mind seeing more stuff that played into that.
I kind of want to see that too. I like the neatness of what we might have as our last catty battle.
If Fanuku doesn't end up in a hat at some point, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man, that's that needs to happen. Especially Finuku, like with the owners, his ancestors having owners, and he's a stray. That amuses me pretty mightily.
Awesome. And John, any flags, any thoughts, or something you'd like to see next time?
I really want to know what Bentley's whole role in this is. So I want to see where he comes back in. I figure we're probably going to have a fight with him or something. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to how Bentley ties back into everything.
I think that's going to be cool too. Like I say, I think we'll half session will be finishing up the tomb, and then the coming out's going to be fun too. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And my flags to set up, I do want to make sure that I'm giving all of y'all the opportunity to really shine these personalities, because y'all have created some really neat characters. So I want to leave those open spaces for you guys to hop into and do neat stuff. So I'll try and make sure that there's good situations where you're all able to bring neat things in. I do like dogs. I really do. There's a part of me in my heart that that really likes this game. Percentile systems are wonky. I think this one is set up to be very hard in a lot of cases. But I enjoy what it's trying to do. I like playing a just plain old dog, and I think that's awesome.
I didn't understand the rolling system of it until I actually saw it in play. The whole, yeah. So it's simple, but like I say, it's hard. It's hard to roll well, but it does what I think it's supposed to for the most part. Well, gang, thank you so much for playing. We'll be back again in a week. And I'm going to end the broadcast here. Thank you for anybody who happened to watch.